This week for our Golden Apple, Long Prairie Gray Eagle High School mapped a 200-foot timeline of U.S. history. The timeline starts with Columbus and ends with today. As our Scott Sheehan tells us, the timeline allowed the students to teach each other some of the main points of their time period.
Depicting American history in 200 feet, Long Prairie Gray Eagle's 10th grade U.S. history class created a 200-foot timeline stretching across 3 hallways in their high school. The timeline starts with Columbus and continues to this year's 100th anniversary of World War I.
I wanted to start off the year with the kids taking ownership of the whole year of what they were going to learn. And boy, they showed me when they have the opportunity to do the research, they can find out exactly what they need.
Mr. Phillips gave his students a few criteria. They had to have each U.S. president, and they were to do their own research on their school's iPad and print out their events.
We're going to use this as a learning tool for every segment. We're going to review the timeline, then we're going to do the unit, and then the students are going to decide what needed to be in the unit, in the timeline that wasn't there. Essentially, they're creating their own history at first and then going back, and then they'll see how they fit into it.
The 200-foot timeline was broken into 10 periods, plus a Native American section to allow the students a more interactive approach to their education.
That is pretty cool because I like doing projects like this, and you get to make a whole bunch of stuff and put it all together into colors and sparkles. The knowledge is cool too, because you get to look it up and not just read it out of a book.
I think I'm more of a co-student. I work with other people and they'll teach me some and I'll teach them some.
Before the project, the students had a basic knowledge of some of the major events throughout American history. However, this project allowed them to go deeper into their period to help them gain a better understanding.
I didn't know much of it before. I knew some of the presidents that they were, but I didn't know any of the years, and I didn't know very many of these facts.
I mean, I knew about Trail of Tears, but I didn't know how bad it really was. And the fact that learning 90% of them died from diseases was kind of hard to take.
Mr. Phillips says it's more important to teach the personal side of history, and the exact times and dates aren't as important to history as the hows and whys. He says this timeline was a necessary step to begin the school year.
I think starting from the basis of a timeline, they can build back then to picture themselves at that era, and then they'll understand how and why.
What started as a thought for a small timeline to cover a wall turned into a major project that not only covers 3 hallways, but also is an interactive tool for the entire high school. For this week's Golden Apple, Scott Sheehan, Lakeland News.
If you've enjoyed this segment of Lakeland News, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution to Lakeland Public Television.